So we are back. Welcome to Totally Justified. Welcome everybody. It's been a long time since we've done an episode. We fell off a little bit.
Yeah. After being saying we're gonna be consistent.
Yeah, no, we were, but I think we're gonna come with a bang this time. Oh yeah.
New energy.
New topics, new things to work on. I'll just give a bit of background for listeners that don't know. I had really bad tonsillitis in March, and it was really difficult to record episodes because it just sounded horrible. So that's basically why we slowed down for a bit. And I think getting back into that momentum was really difficult.
I think especially we just got quite busy.
It was a busy time for us. Yeah. But hey, look, we're back. Got good topics. Today we're going to be looking through a few different episodes. Actually, we're going to do a combination of many. So look forward to these ones that we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about cinema, if it's visually dead, what we know about it. We're going to be looking into sci-fi and what it sort of teaches us about each other and about humans. Weird to say, but sci-fi can sort of teach us lessons.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough. We're going to do a Spider-Man review as well. We've just came back from that a couple of days ago, so that'll be good. And yeah, we're going to be looking at some other things as well. So look forward to them.
Yeah, should be good.
Should be good. Odyssey deep dive, psychological hot takes. So psychological hot takes would be things that we've sort of heard, idioms or sayings that we hear, and our sort of thoughts about them. We got some interesting ones, so look forward to that. Anyways, let's get back into this episode. So once again, welcome. Just sort of a way of introduction again. I know I'm Theo.
I'm Josh,
and we are Totally Justified, making hopefully back into bi-weekly episodes. So sort of kick it off, Josh. I just wanted to ask, what was the last film that you watched and how did it look to you visually?
Yeah. So apart from obviously we've watched Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The last movie I actually watched before that, it was a movie called The Escape Room.
Okay.
So there's two parts to it. I watched both parts. Visually, I think it was quite good because I think obviously the whole idea of it is just based around an escape room.
Yeah.
But in terms of, how the sets looked, like at every point of the escape room, sort of the technology that they were using as well. And just like even like the sort of the difficulties that they were facing, all of that was like really well done. Like there's no bad CGI or bad green screen moments. Like the whole thing looked like very real, very grounded.
Yeah.
Which I thought was quite good, like quite surprising when I was thinking about, like, I don't know, I haven't really heard about this movie, I just saw a clip of it, which is why I watched it. But yeah, visually it looked great. I think it looked very good.
Yeah, I have watched that movie,
Yeah.
Escape Room. Yeah, it's really good. Like you said, I'm thinking back on it now because it was a while ago. But yeah, like you say, it visually looked good. They clearly had a vision, and it's funny that we have to point this out now. I think we're living in a time where we've got so many different pieces of media, TV shows, that just look so bland. I don't know. They're just
like not really, like, I don't know, like the color grading, for example, might just be off, or just like doesn't really fit with the world. Or like you can clearly see, like, I don't know, the props that they use just look fake or don't look real.
It's like they've got the colors of the real world, and then they've decided, let's like drain the life out of it. And the thing is, right, I'll be honest, it's not even an artistic point to do that. Like you have certain scenes where it's meant to look dreary, and the scene itself is a dreary scene. So yeah, of course you'd want it to look like how it feels. And I feel like looks attached or equal to feelings
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because again, just thinking about the escape room that I brought out, I remember there was two quite distinct rooms. There was one where it was like really cold, and like you could see that they changed the color. They made everything like really dull looking to really sell you and make you feel like, oh yeah, they are trapped in this really cold environment.
Exactly.
You know, there's nothing they can do. And then moving on to the next room, it was now completely different. It's now bright lights. They're in this like pool, sort of like, I don't know, like a casino type place.
Yeah.
And like the lighting looks different. It's very vibrant, and it's a complete shift. But that shift also represents that next room, how they should be feeling at that moment. You know, they should be feeling a bit overwhelmed. There's so much around them that they're trying to hurry up and try and figure out what to do to escape that room. So, yeah, something like that makes sense. But then you look at other movies where it's like, you look at it like the color grading just doesn't work with the scene of what they're trying to show. And I don't know. I think it's a common thing we see in, I think, a lot of newer movies nowadays. I feel like I think they just sort of miss the point of why we choose to put, you know, certain types of colors or certain types of grading or certain types of, I don't know, shadows or highlights on certain things, which it's a bit frustrating to see.
It is. You're right. I think, like you said, they missed the point that colors invoke feelings. We're stripping it back down to the basics. This is stuff you learn when you're really young. Like red invokes a sort of confident, fiery sort of energy to you. Green is calm. Blue is like colors are associated to different feelings. So when it comes to movies, when it comes to especially TV shows, I think TV shows are the biggest blunders of this. I think because they're recording over so many episodes, you sort of see that they're all kind of the same looking.
Yeah.
They've got this dreary look to them. They're all filmed sort of like a hospital sort of
sitcom, yeah, almost, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I hate hospital lighting.
Yeah.
And it looks like hospital lighting. That's basically what I think.
Yeah, that is true.
Like if you think about like movies like, do you remember Blade Runner?
Yes.
2040,
2044,
or
right?
2099?
Something like that, yeah.
Blade Runner, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You saw the visuals of that one.
Yeah,
You saw how distinct it was, how colorful it was. Even things like the Batman.
Yeah.
I remember watched that.
That was a good one.
That's a very good example.
How to properly, you know, color and shade and really sell the world that it's in, how dark and how dreary this world is. That is a good example of a successful use of it, I'd say.
And it can be even something like, this scene is so dimly lit, but there was this remember this scene at the very end where it's Batman holding
what's it called? Not like a thermite, like a flare.
Flare, flare, and it's red.
Yes,
and you see the contrast of the red with the black everyone around. Now, that movie, in my opinion, I like movies where I can take a single scene, frame it, and that is my wallpaper.
That's a wallpaper. Yeah.
And I feel like the Batman had a lot of those scenes. Photography, a director of photography really does make or break a movie for myself.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a budget thing?
Is it a budget thing? I don't think it's a budget thing, because I think it's more so of either one, a time thing. Maybe the people who are at the end, the people who are doing the post processing, maybe aren't given it enough time to actually put in the effort to really, shade everything correctly, or to make everything look nice. So I think it would be more of a timing issue rather than a budget issue. I think the budget would be more so of, maybe the budget would be more so of like getting those like cinematic shots, so to speak, like getting the character and the surroundings to be, wallpaper worthy. Like maybe if the budget wasn't there, they might not be able to do like a cool thing where, I don't know, the character's in the air and he's doing something cool. Maybe they might not have the money to do that, so they have to compensate and do something else that doesn't look as cool. kind of thing. I think that's where the budget might affect it in terms of like maybe the action that they do doesn't quite
I get that,
line
but
up with
then
it.
action, I get,
Mm.
but you can make any action shot look cool with a visual overlay.
I think so, but like there are some that are probably a lot harder to I don't
mask
know.
out.
Yeah, to mask out
Really?
or to really sell. Like I don't know, like for example, like someone like Spider-Man, right? Like
Yeah.
a lot of what he does, like even just his landing pose, obviously you can make that amazing looking or whatever.
Okay.
But obviously then you've got other scenes where maybe he's in the air, he's doing like some funky twist, that kind of stuff. Like that, if you were put that side by side to just, I don't know, him just standing or him just, you know, landing or something, right? The one where he's doing something cool in the air is more likely to be more appealing, more impactful compared to just like a bit of a more simpler, I don't know, not really much visually to look at kind of thing.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Here's my take on what you've just said. I understand what you've just said perfectly. However, could you say that if that Spider-Man pose, whatever it is, had really good sound design, the landing was good Foley sounds of the spiderweb whipping or the landing, good sound effects, good background music, good maybe extra CGI in terms of like smoke, landing, impact frames, shaking of the camera. All of these things to me add to what make a scene great. You don't need to do the fancy theatrics actually on set. You actually don't.
I get what you mean.
At the end of the day, films are supposed to not trick you, but they're meant to present something for your eyes to see. Why do we look at Christopher Nolan movies and say this was a feast for the eyes? Why do we look at this certain movie and say this was a feast for the eyes? It's because it's not just a visual action scene that's happening. Maybe it's as simple as someone running away from something big. But then you hear the giant thunders down. You hear the music picking up pace, like, and we're sort of feeling what this person's feeling. The camera's shot at such an angle, maybe close up of his face, like his breath, breathing, and all of these things take them away, and it's a dead, dreary scene. That's the point of photography. It's meant to make a scene that's otherwise boring present or look really good.
Okay, so then
my point.
I get the point. So I think in that case, it isn't necessarily. So I think then if we were to come back to it, I don't think it would be a budget thing then. I think it would either be one, they don't have enough time to actually do it, or two, the director or, you know, the final, I don't know, the VFX manager or whatever doesn't have the right vision or doesn't share maybe the vision that the actual director has of how that scene needs to look like. So because of that, so it comes down to, so going back to it, it's less of just a budget thing now. I think it comes down to two things. One, it'll be the time that the post-processing, VFX team has to create the scene. If they have less time, then obviously they probably have to cut corners. They probably have to, it won't look as good as if they had poured more time into it. And the second thing would probably be then a case of also their higher ups, the VFX manager maybe doesn't have that same vision that the director wants. So his instructions or his sort of guidance to the VFX artists doesn't quite match up to what the director was expecting at the same time, or like their view of that scene is just fundamentally different, or like they don't see the need to make it as epic.
Okay. So it's it is down to directors at that point.
Yeah.
And how much freedom they're given to these photographers, masters of photographers, or interesting.
Because I think with some shows you can tell where when they do give the artists and do give these VFX people the chance and the freedom, the stuff they come out with looks phenomenal. Like even like 2D animated stuff, the amount of times where we've seen like some really unique, creative, like scenes and like shots and cinematography is purely because they had the time, they had the creativity, they had the freedom to do it. If you strip all of those away, then obviously now you're just left with, the basics, the thing that just, progresses the story or whatever.
As long as it gets us from A to B. What exactly. A director, that's true. And I think, because remember we talked about the Batman, did you know that it was actually shot with this thing they call a Kodak Vision 3? So Craig Fraser is probably a name that some people know. Craig Fraser. He also did the Dune as well. So he was cinematographer for that as well. And he sort of leans into that sort of dark, grainy kind of look to its films, which I really like. And you can see that especially in the Batman. Like the reds, they've got this grain to them too. And I think he has this sort of distinct color palette that is designed to sort of make every single frame of the movie look like a photograph. Like I said, you could pause any moment in the Batman. I guarantee any moments, like big moments, and you could just take a picture of it, and that's your wallpaper. The scene that got me was the car, and when it's like a POV of his car, and then you see the Penguin's car flip over, and you see the Batman walking towards him. Like, crisp
stuff like
that's
that.
good. And I think that scene would have been terrible if it was brightly lit in the sky. It was all gray, and it was like middle of the day type of thing. You know, like directors, films need to not be afraid of the dark. Dark, you can play with darkness a lot.
But I also think at the same time they shouldn't lean too heavily into,
of course,
the dark.
Of course,
the amount of TV shows where I'm like squinting to even see what's happening because I don't know, decide to put this like, I don't know, this weird dark blue sort of filter constantly. Like I remember there was one TV show I watched that was like that. It was like even during the day, like it was during like midday, and it's just dark blue everywhere, and I'm like, what? Like what?
Was it part of the story to be dark blue like that?
I think so. I think the whole point of the story was just so how, I think it was more so to emphasize just how like alone the main character was, like how she really doesn't have anyone to support her.
Okay, so in that case, it
made sense, but at the same time, we're not always only seeing the main character.
Okay.
But there are other characters and other scenes with other people. And they're not in the same situation as her.
Okay.
So for those, does it still need to be as dark and, I don't know, dark and grimy?
I guess they could have played with that contrast a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. Like if there was a contrast, now you can, whenever it's her scene, you can really feel, okay, the weight of it. And like maybe if she's feeling less alone, it becomes brighter. Maybe she's feeling more alone, it becomes even darker. You know, it's like stuff like that is like stuff that the VFX sort of manager and the VFX artist would be able to play around with. They have the correct directive to, or the freedom to actually experiment and play with that kind of thing. But if they don't, then you're just left with, we'll just keep everything the same. Or we'll just remove it entirely.
That makes it less appealing to watch. Because now it's just, again, like I said, what you see, colors, visuals affects your moods for the most part, you know? And it invokes certain feelings. So having characters who seem bright and bubbly and the world they're living in is dreary, it doesn't make for good TV. And it just means it's a lack of understanding of your viewer and a lack of actually wanting to produce a good quality product for people to view. I think it boils down to streaming services as well. There was a study that said that 60% of people that watch on streaming services multitask at the same time. So they're doing other things. They're folding laundry, they're cleaning dishes while watching TV shows. So we'll get into it in another episode in terms of script and writing, and I think we kind of talked about it in the past, but like we'll actually dedicate an episode to it of how dialogue is now phrased now, where everything is said. What you're doing. The recent Avatar. Toph Beifong. I am Toph Beifong, and I discovered metal bending.
Oh my god,
like,
that scene.
No,
it gets me every time.
Why? Like, they made it so that you can literally close your eyes and say, "I know what just happened in that scene." I think, I'm not sure, but I think she just metal bended. Maybe. So, but yeah, well, let's not get into that right now. But I do think because of this study that 60% of people are actually multitasking while watching films and TV shows, that people don't appreciate Mad Max Fury Road. If you remember that movie, it was very silent, very dirt and grimy kind of feel to it, or like 1917, the one where it was shot all on the same camera on one. Was that Dunkirk? I'm not sure. One of them. Actually, no, that's not Dunkirk. It's 1917. Yeah, it was like a military one, and like it's the stylistic choice. Do you think because of this whole streaming service thing, that is what people are focusing on? Is that's why they're so flat and smooth? What do you think?
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think yeah, if the directors are seeing that, you know, for most scenes people aren't looking at it, then I guess that sort of makes them want to overcompensate, I guess, and sort of allocate the good bits to the parts where they actually want people to look at, I guess. So like most, like obviously with the show, well, it depends on what the show is, but or the movie, obviously there's not gonna be like a constant, I don't know, like constant pull for every single minute of the movie. There's going to be some down times or bits where it's not as, you know, fully as engaging. So I think that causes them to think, oh, if it's at those times that people aren't really paying attention, aren't looking, what's the point in making those parts pretty? What's the point of making those parts still quite engaging and creative, when instead I can shift it and put it elsewhere? So I think it is causing that to cause a more of a focus on like the big hitters in, or the big parts or the big plot points, rather than keeping it consistent throughout the film. I think that's probably what we're seeing.
I'll admit it's a bit jarring. But I guess it's just one of those things where we have to change the viewers' viewing habits to sort of change that. But I think TV shows are one thing. I think movies are another thing. And I will admit though, I'm seeing a sort of resurgence in recent films that have come out of adding that cinematography, that sort of color back into films. Again, I've mentioned it. Odyssey, feast for the eyes. You know, it's a visually stunning thing. I do see that resurgence. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing.
I think even in like some movies where you wouldn't expect it, like I know we're going to talk about Disclosure Day a bit later on, but like even in that movie, it's not something you expect to be like visually like amazing,
good looking.
They still put the time and effort into making certain scenes really visually like good, really visually like appealing. So I do think I think with a lot of movies now, I think there's a bit more of a focus now on trying to make it look nice, because I think they realize the benefit of doing that. If there's more good things to look at in the movie, people are going to enjoy it a lot more. So you're going to get more ratings. That's know. So I think there's a definite pull for directors to actually make even like just a few scenes like visually like really appealing or visually interesting.
Like this Greg Fraser that I talked about, he won the Oscar for the best cinematography in 2022 for Dune. That's Dune 2022. Then in that same year, he dropped The Batman. So like he's got this sort of distinct visual. Do you think we need more director of photography like this Greg Fraser?
Absolutely. I think so. Because like I don't know if you've ever had it where you come out of a movie and like you think about like certain scenes where like it could have been like they just needed to do like this just slightly different, and it could have just looked absolutely like amazing, or just enhance that scene. I think if you have, you know, people like Greg Fraser on the set, on actually helping to direct, you're gonna see more of that. So I don't know. I think it's just naturally going to be a good thing. I don't really see any downsides to it.
There's none. There's none. I think it's something that should be sort of studied so we can sort of replicate. Everywhere, even in TV shows. You know, I feel like directors of photographers photography or cinematographers shouldn't just be exclusive to cinemas, films. It should go into everything. We watch films to escape our sort of reality. And if our reality is dreary and dull and boring, why are we making our TV shows even worse than that? Flat and smooth and like as close to real life as possible. This is why, sort of to switch a little, this is why I feel like when I see reviewers for mobile phones, cameras, and one of these reviewers say that, oh, there's too much contrast, or there's too much color, or there's it's not true to what I see as a negative, I immediately switch off. Because I want color in my life. Yes, I see this red brick house over there. To my eyes, it's not as red, but then the camera sort of notices that it's a red brick house and it enhances it just a little bit. So I can see that it's a red brick house when I come to scroll it next time. If I took a picture of that and it was just what I saw on that day anyway, I don't know about you. What is your take on that?
Yeah, no, I agree. Because like there's times where I'll look at something, I'm like, oh, this looks really nice. I take the photo and it looks even better than how it looked like to me. And I think, yeah, I wouldn't understand seeing that as a negative in any way. Like, I guess I can understand if it's changing it to the point where it's no longer that sort of object, where it's completely not it, if that makes sense. Like maybe it's, overcompensating, or like because it's enhanced it, it's reduced the detail. That I can sort of understand why that would be a negative. But if it's sort of keeping that same detail, but just adding a bit more color, a bit of a, more depth to the photo, then there really should be no argument against it. It's doing is enhancing what's there a bit beyond what we can see, because obviously we know that our eyes are only able to see a certain sort of spectrum. Cameras are able to see a bit more than that, so they can almost sort of enhance it to be probably closer to what we or should be seeing, or it's closer to what it actually is in real life.
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't see it as anything of a negative
at all. But what you've just shown is that it's a give and take. You've just said that if the detail's missing but the color's up, then you have a gripe. So let me ask this as a question. Let's go back to films for a second. If you were to make a film now, we mentioned dialogue was an issue that we're seeing in the movies now, where they're sort of telling us what they're doing. We've also mentioned about cinematography. These are two things. Let's just say now you've given a film, and someone says you have to make this film, but you can only focus on one. Good dialogue or good cinematography? Which one are you focusing on?
That's tough. I guess it sort of depends on the type of movie. I think I'd primarily sort of gravitate towards better cinematography, because I think obviously with cinematography you can it a bit sort of bypasses a lot of the dialogue as well. Because if you could like show something visually, then at that point you also don't need to add extra words to describe it. Maybe it's like, I don't know, say like a flashback scene, for example, right? Yeah, they could, if with a good dialogue, you can make sort of like call back to a previous thing quite interesting or quite engaging. But at the same time, if you have the cinematography and you can make it really nice and visually appealing, or maybe like, I don't know, they show a certain element that was in the past and currently in the present, and then like you see the shift between how it used to look, or something like that, like there's a lot of tricks you can do with cinematography to sort of overcome the bad dialogue. So yeah, I think I'd probably pick the bad dialogue and better cinematography.
Fair enough. You're right. Yeah, you can do a lot of tricks, like you said, when you're talking about like contrast of the past and like the present. It's something as simple as changing the colors and how it looks, or maybe adding a certain filter effect around every certain things to make it look like there's a difference between the two. Modern TV that doesn't have good cinematography would just have them both looking the same. And you're like, so what point in time are we? You know? So okay, so you take the bad dialogue for looking good. Okay, that's fair enough. I think like you say, it comes down to genre. What is it? Is it a sitcom? Is it a sitcom, or is it a, I call them career sitcoms.
Yeah.
You know, Station 19s, the Grey's Anatomies, I don't even know really. Yeah, is it one of those? Is it a comedy? Is it a think piece about someone's life, like a slice of life? Like, depends, because like for me, a slice of life with hints of comedy, they usually go hand in hand. Should have some visuals to it, you know, to show some things. If it's an action, 100%. If it's sci-fi, if it's a thriller, these are the things that you would expect cinematography to be in. But then, okay, now you're told to direct this sitcom, the career sitcom. What is your take?
Well, yeah, I think at that point you'd probably have to. I think, yeah, the dialogue would be more important. I think it would probably take precedent, because I think at that point, since it's a sitcom, the whole point of it is you're supposed to, enjoy it. You're supposed to laugh.
Yeah.
Good dialogue will guarantee that will happen.
Yeah.
Whereas good cinematography doesn't necessarily always equal that you'll laugh or like you'll enjoy it or something like. It's a lot harder to do. Like, I think it requires a lot more effort at that point to do it, that it might not be worth it, because then you also have to deal with the fact that there's bad dialogue as well at the same time. Like, yeah, you can make everything good with all the other bits when they do talk is terrible.
Yeah.
Then are you really enjoying it? But if it's like visually it's not that good, but everything they say is funny,
okay,
or like entertaining, you could kind of overlook the bad visuals, but it wouldn't work the other way around. You couldn't overlook the bad dialogue if the visuals were good.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, I get you in that sense. But let's go to this comedy thing. Comedy isn't just what you say. It's how you say it.
It's how you say it. Yeah.
So yeah, you need to be seeing the screen. You need to be seeing what they're doing. You need to see how they're doing it. So the camera needs to be positioned in a way that I can really see the expressions on their face as they're making said jokes or as they're speaking. It's tough. There's a balancing act to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think when it comes to TV shows and movies now, I do see the shift and I do see the change, and I think that comes with sort of the messages that are being pushed into these movies and TV shows. Like we talked about the Batman and how much it looks really good.